Okay, so this is going to be perhaps my final series on CCS Nationals itself. During the last two videos, I talked a lot about qualifying for Nats and all that stuff. But now we're going to talk about the actual meet itself. So first of all, we're going to go into some introductions, how CCS Nationals is that in like early April, late March or so, they choose a pool. Usually, it's a very nice place like this past year was in IUPUI, absolutely gorgeous pool. NCAA's and and like U.S. Masters Nationals were all held there. Really nice place, but that's beside the point. The idea is you have 3 days. College club, you have about 130 college club teams from all over the nation travel there. It's a huge meet, and it's 3 days, I think. I think Friday is like mostly distance events, and your 200s of stroke, 4 IM. Well, 5 free got moved, but you got your 8 free relay and 4 free relay, lots of stuff. And then Saturday, I'll say I feel like Saturday is kind of like you got your 200s, and you got like a lot of the 100. I guess a lot of like the slower hundreds. Guess you could say, and you got your medley relay and four free relay. And then Sundays, like I'll say, basically all sprints. You got a lot of like 50. You got 50s, and then like 100 free, 100 fly, 100 IM. Now, well, Sunday now has 5 free, but I'll say Sunday is like mostly a sprint day. Saturday's like the long day. You have a huge ass prelim session, and not to mention you also have the Wicked 1000 on Saturday. So Saturday runs really late, and then Sunday's like a rather quick day. Meet typically ends by like 7 something, so people can get home. So what are my thoughts about CCS Nationals? Let's first start with the pros. So there's a lot of things I do love about nationals. You're traveling with a team. It's like you're actually staying in a nice ass hotel where you have a lot of space. That is not something that we do when we're traveling to like local meets because it's expensive, and the team does cover some of the costs. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, they don't cover food, but like, hey, they covered like our hotels, they covered our meet fees, they also covered our rental cars. So that's not a horrible deal, especially for a club that like literally uses your dues to pay for meat in itself. And then I also have friends every get to meet a lot of my friends. I met two of my old high school swim friends, and it's like a nice team bonding event. You're hanging out with people all day, so you probably get to learn some good stuff about them. And another nice thing is that CCS Nationals is live streamed. And especially if you make finals, you're literally swimming like like it's a show, basically. Particularly that A final. The A final, like if you make it, you report to a ready room, and you walk out and get like announced. It's probably one of the best feelings ever. I probably I don't know if I'm gonna get to that level, but I feel like it's a really fun moment. And the last part of the fun is, I get to make vlogs, and making vlogs is fun. So that's a good part. Now, CCS Nationals is all great. You get to see some really fast swimming. I remember seeing guys posting like a 19 sub 20 50 free. That's absolutely crazy. But now we're going to talk about the not great things, in my opinion. So the first thing that comes to mind is the time zones. So like the meet starts at like 7 at like 9 a.m. But the problem is that it's an East Coast time. So the West Coast people basically feel like it's 6 a.m. But the meet starts at 9, which means you have to actually be there at like 7:30, which means you're basically getting up at like 4 or 4:30 a.m. Like, just imagine having to get up at 4 a.m. or something. Basically, like even like CS majors oftentimes go to bed at that time. So you can imagine what it's like, because if you have to go to bed at like their like East Coast's 11 p.m., 11 like 10 or 11 p.m., that's basically like saying I want you to go to bed at 8 o'clock. And if you try doing that when you're normally sleeping at 11 or 12 o'clock, it's not going to happen. Like your body just doesn't work like that. So ultimately, I don't think any. I feel like people will probably get like 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night, and as a result, you end up really exhausted. And the other complaint I will make about CCS Nationals is there's no time to recover. Like, come on, literally, like prelims last 5 hours. It always goes way too long. It goes from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. They say warm ups start at 5 o'clock, which means you have to leave your hotel by like 4:30 or so. Take an hour and a half to eat lunch. You have no time to really recharge back at the hotel. And by doing that, like you really just become more and more exhausted, especially when you combine that with the lack of sleep you get from the night before. So, and another thing I will talk bad about, like this hasn't personally affected me, but it's definitely pissed off some of our teammates. Is that the DQ rules are very arbitrary. Like I think some swimmers are claiming that like backstrokers are going all the way to the flags and not getting DQ'd. You're only allowed 15 meters, but they literally go like 20 meters and you don't get DQ'd. And then like our relays are getting DQ'd, like queued, which was valid. Like our relay did like the person the swimmer, the takeover was unfortunately an early takeover, which is a DQ, but it was like it was rather small, and like the officials like absolutely stomped on that while they didn't notice like a 20-meter DQ. So that kind of sucks, but even when that happened, we still ended up doing pretty good at in the meet overall. And the other thing I will talk bad about is the time, that fact that it's in April. Like if you try to join swim club in like spring semester, you just don't have it just doesn't have much use. All the meets are pretty much done by like February or March, and then like there's nothing left what meet wise besides nationals, unless you're fast. You're not probably not making it. So what do I do? So now we're gonna get to a question. What do I think CCS Nationals should do? The first thing I think CCS Nationals should do is they should make Nats at least 3 full days. I feel like with 2.5 days, it just cramps everything together. You don't have any time to like eat your meals and rest between prelims and finals. And what this does is just makes everyone way too exhausted, especially when you got like time zone difference. I also think CCS Nationals should allow perhaps allow bonus events. Yes, it's crowded, but like I feel like I feel like swimmers should be allowed to swim, more than one event in my opinion. If you're traveling that far. Another thing I think CCS could do is move it to May, more time to qualify, or just push the meet late start time later, maybe start at like 10 or something. Try to keep each session to like 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours, so people aren't like exhausted. And because CCS Nationals cuts keep getting faster, but it still fills up pretty damn darn quickly every fucking year. So maybe they'll have to make cuts too fast. But then you get to the point where the cuts are basically like NCAA three NC2A cuts almost. And as a result, I think what they might need to do is put a regionals champs at the same time. Yes, there is regionals, but like they should put a regional champs before nationals and use that to determine who goes to nationals. Maybe that could work. Who knows? These are just thoughts that I have. And then finally, let's go to me. So CCS national cuts, as I've shown you, have gone ridiculously fast, especially for guys. Like they went from like like I think like especially breaststroke cuts and even like and like breaststroke cuts have just dropped absolutely copious amounts since 2022. And what this also mean, and what I also see is that like the 200 cuts haven't dropped, aren't as competitive as the 100 cuts. So what that means for me is I'm probably gonna have to be ditching 50 and one free because they're repetitive, and I'm like I already get to swim in and relays, so I'm like not gonna really do them, and I'm replacing them with the two fly and the two IM. So why not one IM? Well, the one IM cut went from a fucking 58.0 to a 56 low, and I'm like 3 seconds away. You might be like, oh, and then I might could tell you, oh, I'm 5 seconds away from in the two IM, but my two IM time was swum in 2021. It's now 2024, and in that time, I think I have gone faster from my 213. I feel like should be able to break at least 210, and then maybe and then from that, if I can just simply get backstroke and breaststroke faster, we're under that 208. So yeah, and the reason why I'm doing two fly, I'm butterflyer. My cut is already pretty close, and my one fly has gone faster, so I'm hoping that can carry over to my two fly. So yeah, these are events. I'll swim other events, but these four are probably going to be my main ones this year. The other thing that I might impose for myself is is so you only need one cut to go, but for me, I might make the rule saying I have to qualify four events or I'm not going. I think that is what I'm gonna probably have to settle with. And you might be like, bro, just go. It's a fun event. Well, okay, here's the issues. I want to actually swim at the pool. I don't want to just go there and sit on the sidelines because that is just kind of sad, you know. And and it's not fun because it's like I'm gonna be exhausted. If I'm exhausted, I might as well actually do something. It's like racing, you know. I like actually being able to race, just all the process that goes into it, the warm up, the mental aspect, and all that stuff. And my time is really also very limited because I'm missing a Friday of. Okay, well it's spring break this year, but like I'm missing Friday. I might end up missing a Monday of school. I'm actually not missing Friday this year because of spring break, but I'm gonna be missing Monday, perhaps of school if I'm really exhausted. So like that is also why I might not exactly want to be going the nationals in the first place because you're missing perhaps even 4 or 5 days of school, and with the class my intense workload, I'm like that is not probably not going to be a good idea. And the other rule I might do is I might just fly back Sunday like like afternoon or evening because the reasoning is unless I can go like a 50 at least a 52 low in my one fly. And the reasoning behind that is I need to get home. I need to sleep. I got school then on the next day Monday. So what that means is like if I decide to fly back like Sunday very late night at night or even Monday morning, well, I'm gonna be missing a whole day of school, and that is not a good idea for me. I don't think I would really appreciate that. So in my opinion, unless I like make finals, I don't think it's worth staying that extra time. Could probably just watch it later, on my phone and cheer virtually. But that's just my thoughts. I know people are gonna probably critique me for this, but my time is limited, and I can't and like can't be missing school for unnecessary things, in my opinion. Yeah. So that's it for my video. I think this is probably going to be the last like talk about CCS Nationals. I know you're probably tired of it, but we're gonna move on. Probably go into who knows, day in the life. Give me some feedback about what I should do with my next videos. Anyways, that's it. like and subscribe. See you next time. Take care.